Y'all, I have to talk about something that is just sitting so heavy on my spirit. A 27-year-old mother of seven is gone, and not because she had some incurable disease or because the doctors were out of options. She died because she missed a court hearing, and because of that, the insurance she needed to stay alive was cut off. This is the story of Kierra Campbell. It's the story of how a paperwork problem, a bureaucratic detail, became an actual death sentence. And it brings up a terrifying question. We're told there's a safety net to catch us when we fall, but what happens when that net has holes so big a whole person can slip right through? What happens when that person is a mom, fighting with everything she has to stay alive for the seven kids who need her more than anything in this world? Before her name was all over the news, Kiara Campbell was a mother, just 27 years old, and her whole life was about her seven children. They were her world, her reason to get up, her reason for every single breath that she took. Her friends and family said she was full of life and all about her family, handling the everyday chaos of being a mom with a special kind of strength, a strength that was about to be tested in the worst way possible. For years, Kiara was battling chronic heart failure. It's a condition where your heart just can't pump blood the way that it's supposed to. It's an exhausting, hard thing for anyone to live with. But imagine being a young mom with a house full of kids. It was a constant uphill climb. She handled her illness with so much grace, but by the middle of 2025, her body was starting to give out. Her heart, the same one that was so full of love for her babies, was failing. Its function had dropped to a terrifying 10%. Because it got so bad, she ended up at the Christ Hospital in Cincinnati, where she stayed for over a month. She was stuck in a hospital bed fighting not just to manage her symptoms, but fighting for her life, minute after minute. Her kids, the center of her universe, couldn't be there with her. They could only wait and hope their mom would come home. And for Kiara, getting home to them was all that mattered. She wasn't just fighting for her life, she was fighting for theirs. So picture it. Kiara's in the hospital room, and her life is literally hanging on by a thread, or more like an IV tube. She was hooked up to two really strong IV medications, and these weren't for pain, they weren't optional. These drugs were doing the job her own heart couldn't do anymore. They were forcing it to keep pumping, keeping her alive. This medical lifeline was the only thing standing between her and her heart completely stopping. It was the bridge that was supposed to get her to the next step, maybe a transplant, and finally back home to her family. But that lifeline had a crazy price tag. The IV meds that she absolutely had to have cost $1,000 a week. $1,000. For Kiara, a young woman from Ohio, paying that herself was impossible. I mean, who just had that kind of money lying around? Her ability to get this medicine and basically her ability to stay alive all came down to one thing: her insurance. She was on Medicaid, the government program that's supposed to be there for people who with low incomes. For Kiara, Medicaid wasn't just some nice benefit, it was her life support. It was paying for the hospital, the doctors, and that $1,000 a week medicine keeping her heart going. As long as her insurance was active, she had a chance to fight. But that was about to change, and not for any medical reason, but because of a tripwire in the system that she never even saw coming. Kiara did the only thing she could. She turned to us for help. From her hospital bed, she recorded this absolutely heartbreaking video, a last desperate plea. Her voice was weak, but what she said was crystal clear. She explained that her insurance was gone, that the medicine keeping her alive was being stopped, and that doctors told her that she had 3 months and maybe less to live. In her own words, she said, "It's over for me, y'all. They're stopping my medicine and everything. My heart is no longer doable. She wasn't asking for some miracle. She was just pleading for time. A GoFundMe was started, not to pay for her care forever, but with the most humble, specific goal: enough money to cover just 3 more weeks of her medicine. 3 weeks. That's all she thought she needed to get the paperwork sorted out, to deal with the hearings from the hospital, to get her insurance turned back on, and to finally go home and see her kids again. It was a race against a clock that was ticking way too fast. A battle against a bureaucracy that moves at a snail's pace.
Love you too. I mean, I don't have nothing else to do. I have to. Else am I supposed to do? Hospice is my only chance right now. Like, that's the only thing I can do. I love you too. Yeah, go get your hearts checked out. If anybody feels like flutters in their heart and stuff, that's how it started with me. I was pregnant with the last set of twins. I used to get a lot of flutters and stuff. And my heart was at like 30 to 35 when I found out. Now it's at 10 or less. Yeah, I'm at the point where I can't even bathe myself anymore. I just don't understand what else am I supposed to do if hospice is my only option. Unless I want to stay in this hospital all the way in Cincinnati and be away from my kids and family. It's the only option right now. That's exactly why I stopped smoking too. Stopped smoking, drinking, doing drugs, all that. I wasn't doing nothing but making myself worse. Them vapes, I got to quit smoking them vapes. Thank God so much, though. I have chronic heart failure, and I'm at the end of life. And it's stressing me out. I pray every hour. Every hour I'm praying. I got over like 4 churches, the whole church praying over me. Churches donated as well. One thing about it is, one bag is $950, right? And them bags only last a week. I think I'm able to get like 11 bags. I think right now. So that's 11 weeks at least. That after that it's slow. And they're turning my ICD off, my defibrillator off. I'm switched to DNR. Thank you so much. just worry about my kids, for real. My oldest especially, he's going through it. My sister, Kelsey, she's definitely gonna go through it. But that's why they're sending me at home, because I can spend as much time with the family as I can. You know, they got me a hospital bed. I'm in a wheelchair now. The bathroom, shower, you know, all that stuff. Take any little weird feeling y'all feel in your chest and in your heart, butterfly feeling, get that shit checked out, because something's going on. Oh, I don't qualify for a heart transplant. I didn't even qualify for the LVAD no more, because it's too bad. My heart's too bad. If they said it's too risky, if I get the LVAD, I'm gonna die during the surgery. That's how bad it is. So there's no point in getting that. And if you can't get the LVAD, you definitely can't get a heart transplant.
Hey, Kiara.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
All right.
Hi.
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook?
Yeah. Letting everybody know what's going on with me.
Okay. Are you on Facebook already? You want me to step out?
Oh, you good?
Okay.
I ain't gonna push you on there or nothing.
Where's your home from?
In that white bag.
Okay.
It's in a black little pouch.
I'm
Yep.
glad you have this here.
Am I going home with that?
Yeah. Because we're just trying to figure out the logistics of everything. I think we can get you a bag to go home with.
Like that size?
Like this. We can get you a bag that's concentrated, so it will last about 6 hours. We'll switch it over right, like, you got any more tubing with you?
They should. Well, the ones that I was getting from Amerimed came with the tubing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let me have the pharmacist look at this. And then, that way, you know, your meds at home are expired. Your Milrinone bags are expired.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
3 that I already have?
The 3 that you already have.
How do you know?
Kelsey verified with your company. I don't know what happens if you use expired meds. I don't know if it's like a little bit less effective, but meds at home are technically expired. So that's why I want you to go home on this. We can hopefully give you some Milrinone to hook up to this instead of switching you from the hospital pump to this when you get home.
And them bags that I have right there last more than 6 hours.
Now you're on like double the dose.
Oh, okay.
That you were on before. So that's why we're gonna get you a concentrated bag, because this is basically running twice as fast.
Is there any way y'all can give me more than one bag to leave with?
I can ask.
Okay. Let me get off. I'll be back.
Look, we all know this healthcare system is a mess. It's a maze of paperwork and rules that feels like it's designed to trip you up. When you're vulnerable, it's hard to get through. When you're critically ill, it can be straight up impossible. Kierra Campbell got trapped in that maze, and the whole thing started to fall apart over something that had nothing to do with her health, a missed child support hearing. Because she missed that court date, a court date she obviously couldn't go to while she was lying in a hospital bed, the system automatically triggered a penalty. With its cold, robotic logic, it flagged her file, and the consequence was fast and cruel. Her Medicaid coverage was cut off. Just like that, the insurance that was paying for the medicine keeping her heart beating was gone, And then she was told that without coverage, they couldn't give her the treatment anymore. Just think about how twisted that is. A woman is in the hospital because she is too sick to be anywhere else. Because she's that sick, she can't show up for a court hearing. And because she can't show up, the system cuts off the exact medical care she needs to not die from her illness. They could have did a FaceTime or virtual for her to be there. It's the deadliest kind of catch-22. To get her benefits back, Kierra was told that she had to go to more court hearings and file new paperwork in person. She was too weak to even walk. Stuck in a hospital she couldn't leave, but was expected to run a bureaucratic obstacle course that most healthy people would struggle with. Her sickness was why she needed help. And the system turned that sickness into the very reason she couldn't get it. The safety net didn't just fail to catch her, it helped push her over the edge. With the medicine that was keeping her alive about to be stopped.
It's all my fault. I was neglecting myself, hanging with the wrong people, drinking, doing drugs.
No antibiotics ever. And is that honey bear now? No, because they totally 100% for sure deserve
Not taking my medicine. No.
delicious chicken they may or may not deserve. Purdue.
Right now at the Home Depot,
This
shop
was
worth of
gonna happen.
savings on GE Profile appliances. Sleek outside, dual dispense inside, and
All I
all
can
in one
think about
laundry
is
that
my
can wash
kids and my
and dry
sister.
in one machine.
My sister's gonna lose her cool. Something happened to me. She's gonna lose herself
It's
so
gonna stay
bad.
like that. Funny. I'm trying to get my own car insurance. Well, that's easy. USAA.
It's like where my kids gonna go.
The internet came through with a lot of love and support, but it wasn't enough, and it wasn't fast enough. The system that failed her wouldn't budge. Before the insurance could be fixed, before all the money could be raised, Kiara Campbell's heart gave out. The medicine was stopped, and what was bound to happen happened. She died in the hospital, and she never got the chance to hold her 7 children again. She didn't just die from heart failure, she died from a system failure. And if you think that this is just one sad story, then you're missing the entire point. This is a fire alarm. Kiara Campbell's death is a brutal slap in the face from a system where your life depends on keeping up with administrative rules. Her story shows the dangerous, deadly gaps in the American healthcare safety net, where a simple procedural issue can kill you. Millions of people rely on Medicaid, but a lot of us don't realize how shaky that coverage can be. All it takes is a missed appointment, a lost piece of mail, or a simple paperwork mistake to suddenly have your lifeline cut off. After the COVID-19 pandemic, studies on the Medicaid unwinding showing that millions of people lost their coverage for these exact same procedural reasons, not because they weren't eligible anymore. People lose their health insurance because the renewal form never got to them, or because they couldn't figure out the website, or because they couldn't afford to take a day off work to stand in a line. For a healthy person, it's a nightmare. For someone like Kiara, who is in the hospital and literally fighting for her life, these aren't just hurdles, they're brick walls. And let's call it what it is. This is an equity issue. The data shows these administrative barriers hit communities of color the hardest. The Black women in particular face higher rates of death from preventable conditions. Kiara's story is a tragic, textbook example of this pattern. She was a young Black mother who needed care, but the system met her with rigid, unforgiving rules that didn't care about her humanity or her situation. Her death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a preventable tragedy. It was a direct result of a system that puts paperwork before patience and bureaucracy before beating hearts. We cannot let Kiara Campbell's story end here. It has to be a catalyst for real change. The most important thing you can do right now is share this story. Make sure her name and what happened to her are not forgotten. Let people know how a system that's supposed to help can do this kind of irreversible damage. The GoFundMe that was started for her medicine is now being used to support her 7 children who have to grow up without their mom. Please, if you're able, look it up and support her family. But beyond that, we have to demand better from our entire healthcare system. Call your elected officials, email them, ask them straight up, what are you doing to make the Medicaid renewal process simpler? Ask them how they're making sure that the most vulnerable people, the sickest people, aren't getting kicked off their insurance for non-medical reasons. A woman's life has to be worth more than a missed court hearing. A mother's love for her 7 kids shouldn't depend on her ability to file paperwork from a hospital bed. Kierra Campbell needed medicine to live. The system gave her red tape instead. Her death leaves us with a haunting question we all need to answer. How many other Kierra Campbells are out there right now, caught in the exact same trap? And how many more have to die before we finally decide to fix this broken system?